This presentation is on ongoing RBT supervision. RBTs will renew yearly. They have the competency assessment at the renewal time. Don't worry, you don't take the test again, but you have to do that competency test, competency assessment. That's where we see you doing in-field work. You should be supervised, you have to be supervised monthly by a BCBA and complete a supervision log. I want to emphasize that it is the responsibility of the RBT to set up the supervision though. As a BCBA, I usually have about 100 RBTs under me in my area, or will, once everyone has that. The point being though is that I can't individually look for each one and say, hey, I need to supervise you or supervise you. It is up to you to meet this requirement. It's up to you to set the time up for supervision and to seek that supervision out. Each RBT must obtain ongoing supervision for a minimum of 5% of your monthly hours of implementing ABA services. This must include 2 face-to-face synchronous contacts. That means the meeting must be interactive. We must be having it at the same time. I can't just watch a video of you. At least one of these meetings must involve the BCBA or BCABA seeing you observing you providing services. This can be done via web, video conferencing. In-person is of course preferred, but the web stuff, video conferencing definitely is fine too. Small group supervision. Some supervision may be conducted in small groups of 2 to 10 people. Non-practicing RBTs. If an RBT is currently not providing services, the monthly supervision requirement is not necessary, but you do have to provide the annual renewals in order to maintain the credential. So you don't have to take that test again. Non-practicing RBTs. If an RBT is not currently providing behavior analytics services, then that monthly supervision is not required in order to maintain the credential. However, the RBT must still complete annual renewals in order to maintain the credential. This is to avoid having to take that test again. So if you're not practicing, make sure you still turn in all the stuff to do the renewal. And this is straight from the BACB website. These are just some requirements. Okay, we highly recommend completing maintenance requirements, including online applications, no later than the 15th of the month in which they are due. Again, this is from the BACB website directly. Renewal applications may be completed up to 45 days prior to the due date. Basically, if you know your renewal is coming up, you can do that at least, the maximum amount of time before is 45 days. After the expiration date, you have 30 days to reinstate the credential, and there's procedures for that at bacb.com/maintaining/RBT or -RBT. And I want to reemphasize the RBT may not be related to, superior to, the employer or the employer of the certificant providing training, assessing competency, providing supervision, or serving as the responsible certificant. Employment does not include compensation paid by the RBT for supervision services. ABA ethics related to this: Professional Ethical Compliance Code 1.04, 1.05, 1.06, 1.07, and 5.0. And here's some fees associated with the RBT, not including the test. The renewal annual fee is $35. If you have insufficient funds to return a check, it's $45. Volunteer or inactive application is, voluntarily inactive application is $25, and the request to return from inactive is also $25. This is the purpose of supervision from BACB.com directly. Okay, the purpose of supervision is improve and maintain the behavior analytic, professional, and ethical repertoires of the RBT and facilitate the delivery of high-quality services to his or her clients. Effective behavior analytic supervision includes development of performance expectations, observations, behavioral skills training, and delivery of performance feedback, modeling technical, professional, and ethical behavior, guiding behavioral case conceptualization, problem-solving, and decision-making repertoires. We review the review of written materials, behavior program, data sheets, reports, oversight and evaluation of the effects of behavioral service delivery, and ongoing effects of supervision. Those are all purposes of the supervision within the RBT, written, and this is taken directly from the BACB website. RBT training must be completed within a 180-day period. It must be done before taking the RBT competency exam and before taking the RBT exam itself. RBT competency exam must be done after completion of training. It must be done by a BCBA or BACB certificate, such as a BCBA, BCABA, or BCBAD, who must have completed an 8-hour supervision training. If that person did not complete an 8-hour supervision training, they cannot do the competency exam. It does not have to be the same person who did the RBT training. Again, it does not have to be that same person who did the RBT training, but it does have to be a certificate from the BACB who has completed the 8-hour supervision training. And that training was a lot of fun, I'll tell you that right now, guys. I actually did it in San Diego during Comic-Con. So, kind of fun. Lots of people, though. Really expensive hotel rooms. I'm not going to read all of this, but it's the background check idea. Is that I will, as a BCBA, attest to whether you pass the background test or not. Here at Learning Arts, that's not an issue, because before you're hired, they give you before your employment, you'd have a background check. But in a situation where if I was supervising someone trying to get their RBT and they weren't working for Learning Arts, for example, I would have to make sure they had a background check. Documentation maintained by the RBT. This means you have to maintain this documentation. Have a copy of your 40-hour training certificate. Have a copy of your RBT competency exam. You must have documentation that at least 5% of your services were supervised. This includes that supervision log showing at least 2 meetings monthly and at least 1 face-to-face that meet this 5% requirement. And you have to have an annual renewal with signed attestation by the RBT of supervision in accordance with the BACB standards. So essentially you're signing something that says you got supervision. The supervision log that you have, and remember the supervision log can be obtained most likely from your analyst, but also there's examples on the RBT website. But every supervision log must have the meeting dates, the duration of the meeting, was it a synchronous meeting or an asynchronous meeting, meaning did it occur like interactively, were you both there, both at the same time. That can also be like a video conference because it's the same time. It's not like I'm reviewing videos of you. Again, there needs to be something on there that says was it synchronous or asynchronous. You're going to have the meeting type, was it individual or group. You're going to have the mode of meeting, was it in person or video. Was it with the patient or not with the patient? Who the supervisor was that was providing whatever the meeting was, and total RBT hour. And it needs to have a section on there with a total RBT hours service for that month and the total supervision hours. Those all must be on the supervision log. And I'll say these again. It needs to have the meeting dates, the duration of meeting, was it synchronous or asynchronous, meeting type, was it individual or group, the mode of meeting, in person or video, was it with the patient or not with the patient, who the supervisor was, the total RBT hours of service, and the total supervision hours. And again, I said that twice. I did it all twice because I want you to understand it's really important. As you take the RBT exam, there will probably will be a question, most likely, on what the supervision log should have or shouldn't have. As long as it has all of these, it's a competent log because that's all the stuff you may have to report to them. And remember, as an RBT, it is your job to seek out supervision.